providing resources and comfort to caregivers. This is Caregiver Crossing.
Good morning. That's right. You are listening to Caregiver Crossing. We are a show created for family caregivers and people who love them. And I find a lot of us who are caregivers now or one day will be. And so we're here every Sunday to discuss all things caregiving. And I hope you're having a good morning. If it's your first time joining us, welcome. We are brought to you by Joyce House, presented in partnership with Cardon and Associates. We are your hosts. I'm Tina McIntosh.
And I'm Candace Haddabaugh. Welcome.
What do you know?
Well, I know all things are good right now. It's a good time.
Good.
But I also know that past episodes of Caregiver Crossing can be heard at caregivercrossingradio.org. And I suggest that you also go and follow us on Facebook. That's going to be the best place to keep up to date with the show in between episodes. And you can also suggest topics that way. So we've been getting a lot of interaction on Facebook, like outside of email and phone calls. Facebook's growing a little bit.
Good. And you as a listener can help us to grow that community too.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't follow us there, you absolutely want to, not only for Caregiver Crossing, but Joyce House is on the brink of launching some pretty big caregiver support and education programs, and you're going to want to know about those too. So here on the show and following us on Facebook are two really good ways.
Yeah. Yep.
And you know, there's Joy's House too. So Candace and I both work full time at Joy's House, Adult Day Service and Caregiver Support and Education. And so if you're looking for any additional resources, don't ever hesitate to reach out to us.
Yeah. Tina can be reached at tina@joycehouse.org. And our phone number is 317-254-0828.
So speaking of reaching out, TIPA Snow's coming up. You want to share about that?
I feel like that's coming up really fast.
Really fast.
Couldn't
Get it on your
gracious.
calendars, people. October 13th.
Yep, October 13th, 1 to 4:30 p.m. at the Shelton Auditorium on the Butler University campus. If you've listened to the show in the last couple months, I suppose, you've heard us talk about TIPA Snow. She's an occupational therapist who specializes in cognitive decline, and she just makes it so easy in my mind. I will link videos from her on our Facebook page so you can go and just got to get a feel for who she is and the type of presentation that she'll put on. But it's free, and we will have from 1 to 2 a community resource hour. So you can come in, learn about other services in the community, meet all of us. The whole team from Joyce House will be there, and you get a free presentation from TIPA. So.
You know, this came about because at the end of every year, I do one-on-ones with everybody on staff at Joyce House. Mm-hmm. And I cannot tell you how many people, I think it was like half of our staff asked for more TIPA Snow.
Really?
She's just a real human. I mean, sometimes like people make this stuff really hard. And I know Candace and I are the same thought process with this. Sometimes we're like, just dumb it down, right? Bring it back to basics.
It doesn't need to be as hard as we're making it.
I mean, I don't even know what it is when you say that, but it's like everything. Nothing needs to be as hard as we make it. I don't know. What?
I don't know, Tina.
Oh,
I got nothing.
Questions.
I got nothing.
We just make everything so hard. I'm even thinking about forms. We make forms hard, hard to get a hold of, hard to fill out,
Yep.
We make conversations hard. It's just, I don't know why we do that to ourselves.
If anyone listening thinks we make anything hard, please let us know, because that's not what we want to be doing.
Do we make things hard?
I don't know. Somebody may think we do.
Well, yeah, you're right. Let us know. We will alter. We'll pivot. Is that the word? That was the word that came out of COVID, right? COVID pivot.
Well, when I hear pivot, I think that Friends commercial, that Friends segment where Ross and...
Oh, yeah, with the couch.
With the couch. Pivot. That's what I think of.
Oh, that's fantastic. That, by the way, is not a good show for your young children to watch.
No.
I thought it was until my youngest, who's now 14, watched it. And I was like, it's Friends. It's fine. And then I went back and caught some episodes with her when she was a little bit younger. I think that was inappropriate.
Well, see, I think the same thing of SpongeBob SquarePants.
I never let my kids watch that when they were little.
Really?
Uh-huh. It is inappropriate.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, you can't. Everything's inappropriate. Mickey Mouse. Have you seen some of those old videos about Mickey Mouse?
No.
Oh, I can't. I don't think we can. It's Sunday morning. We can't talk about it here. Speaking of Sunday morning, I know a lot of you have told me when I've either met you or know you, you've said that you listen to Caregiver Crossing on your way to or from church. Mm-hmm. And I love that you have built us in as part of your Sunday morning routine. Grateful to be here. And much to what Candace was just saying, we want to know if we make anything hard or what else can we be doing to support you right now? So if you're like, gosh, I wish they would just talk about blank on the show, or I wish they would have this guest, or more information about whatever, we can't read your minds, but you can email us. Email me directly at tina@joyshouse.org, and we would absolutely love to make life a little bit easier. Making life easier, one of the things you can do too is nominate a deserving caregiver in your life. Some of you have nominated yourselves. Please do that. If you are a caregiver, you deserve to be acknowledged for that. So please nominate yourself or somebody in your life. And then we will be announcing during National Caregivers Month, which happens to be in November, we will be announcing our Deserving Caregiver Award. And so you can email those nominations. Again, just email them directly to me. It is a joy when I open up my emails and there are a bunch of business things in there. And then I see one that's titled Deserving Caregiver Award.
I love that. I love that. And if you were listening last week, then you learned that Cardon and Associates is gifting one of our winners with a three-night, 4-day respite stay. So if nothing else, I would nominate someone just to get the chance to win a respite stay.
Yeah. There'll be other great things too. What else? Anything else coming up? This is a good show today. I know that, but...
No, I would just say stay tuned to Joy's House, because like Tina said, we've got some big things coming. Our doula program is going to be launching. Caregiver Crossing, we're wanting to grow, regional and if not nationwide. So if you know anyone in the radio industry that we should be talking with about growing the show, send them our way for sure.
Yeah. And connect us with other, with people who are podcasting, who have radio shows. You know, it is nothing for us to go on their show or to have them on ours too, to grow that reach. I have people reach out to me from Fort Wayne recently telling me they've been catching the show.
No way.
Yeah. So it's, we're needed. Sometimes we get lost in, what the show is going to be about that day, or logistics on Candace running the board, or the mic's not working, or, whatever. And, I think it would be always good for us to come back and be grounded in the beginning and remember, like, we have Caregiver Crossing because we're needed in the community.
It's what, 1 in 4, 1 in 5 people are caregiving right now?
I don't know. I feel like everybody's got a different statistic out. Somewhere between 1 in 3 and 1 in 5 of us is a caregiver. It's a lot. So that, if you know other caregivers, tell them to tune in or pick us up at joyshouse.org. You can go and find the shows there too. Yeah. So we are going to take a break on the show. When we come back, we're going to talk about this article titled 14 Home Safety Tips for Seniors Who Live Alone. This was actually a request. And so we're going to talk about that. 14 safety tips for seniors who live alone. We are going to take a break, and we will be right back here on Caregiver Crossing.
You're listening to Caregiver Crossing, a show designed for family caregivers and the people who love them. Caregiver Crossing is brought to you by Joy's House in partnership with Cardon and Associates. With 20 communities owned, operated, or managed in the Midwest and more than 40 years of senior living experience, Cardon and Associates provides residents with the best senior living options and personalized service. Visit cardon.us for more information and to find a community near you. Again, that website is cardon.us. Okay, stay put. We'll be right back with more Caregiver Crossing right after the break. Welcome back to Caregiver Crossing. My name is Candace Hattabaugh, and I am in the studio with Tina McIntosh. Before we jump into our article that we've got for this segment, I wanted to mention Project Lifesaver to everyone out there who possibly has a loved one that wanders. We got an email here at Joy's House last week about a caregiver whose loved one got out of the house and took, a little bit of time to recover him safely. Thankfully, safely. But Project Lifesaver provides free to caregivers tracking bracelets or anklets, I've seen as well, to anyone who has a loved one that, gets out of the house. So their phone number is 317-776-6757. They're also national. So if someone is listening that's not in Indianapolis, reach out and we'll get the phone number for you.
Fantastic. We have asked you over and over to email us when you have something you want us to talk about or a guest you want to have on. And a recent email asked us to give some tips on seniors who live alone. It was a great request. There are 28% of seniors who live alone, by the way, 28%. And that adds up to nearly 12.5 million people in our nation. It is a lot of folks. And so while it gives some ideal situations, it can also pose some serious security threats and, other threats to people. And so there's an article that came out, Community Healthcare did, and it's titled 14 Home Safety Tips for Seniors Who Live Alone. We want to highlight a number of these on here. Some of them are going to feel very familiar, but they're always good reminders. And just because they're familiar doesn't mean we've done them. And so we want to talk about those. And then we want to give you a couple others that really, I think, will make you dig a little bit deeper for consideration for either yourself or somebody you know who is a senior living alone. And quite frankly, these are good for everybody. So let's just kind of jump in here. One is number one on the list. I don't know that it's order of importance, but it's stay in good health. How many times have we talked about something here in Caregiver Crossing, and it comes back to get good sleep, make sure that you're staying active and working out, you're eating the right food, and you're drinking lots of water.
Yeah. I hear that the most, I think. Stay hydrated.
I just wonder why sometimes I hear it and I preach these things and I don't always do them.
Don't do it. I don't think I had water at all yesterday, actually.
Are you being serious?
Yeah, serious. Doug, if you're listening, I love you. But I don't think I did.
Are you okay? You feeling faint? You're going to pass out?
No, I'm good.
Okay, cool. Drink more water, Candace. So staying, active, and that can mean a lot of different things. So just make sure that one, you are staying in good health. Another one on here is build a close circle of friends. And I don't think this one can be stated enough. You've got to have people checking on you and you on them.
Yeah.
So my dad, Tom, my dad that raised me, he has recently moved into an independent living community. And since COVID, they started this during COVID, at 11 o'clock, everybody pulls their chairs out in their independent living on their cul-de-sac. They pull their chairs out into their, oh my goodness gracious, I swear this cold has eaten a part of my brain, into their driveways. And so they know if somebody's not coming out, something's going on, they need to check on them. But they started that during COVID, kind of like a wave moment at 11 o'clock from their driveways. And now they meet and greet at 11 o'clock. It's like an 11 o'clock happy hour every day.
I love that.
Isn't that wonderful? So that is a very important thing. I have a dear friend of mine also, she and her mom, every day they send their Wordle results to each other.
I just haven't gotten into Wordle.
Well, here's the thing. I think one, they like doing the brain games, which is important.
It's important, yes.
But the other thing is if her mom doesn't send that to her by, like say noon, she's like, something is not right.
Yeah.
But let's not Wordle. I'm into it. I'm all about it, by the way.
Are you?
I get very upset when it takes me 6 tries.
Can we just keep sending TikToks to each other?
That works for me just fine. I'm totally in for the TikToks. Maintaining an active social life is key. And so there is proof that senior isolation can contribute to depression and poor health and the worsening of any kind of cognitive decline. And so maintaining an active social life isn't just fun. It's important for our emotions and our connections and our brains. And so, Candace, my question to you is, when you're older, how do you think you will maintain an active social life?
Well, I plan to move to the villages in Florida and drive around on my golf cart.
I mean, do it now.
I will try that.
I'm almost, I'm 51. I'm like, by the time we're 55, we could do the things.
Yeah.
Isn't it fun that we have communities now that people want to be a part of?
Yes. And I feel like we're similar in this. I want to buy a chunk of land and just invite all of my friends and my siblings to just build tiny homes and let's garden together and let's swap recipes and make potluck dinners. And
I mean, we're literally looking for land to do that with our best friends. And
I want to be there.
I know, but you don't want to live here.
That's okay.
So that's going to be the hard part is I'll have it in Indiana and you want to live in Florida.
It'll be our summer.
I'm in.
Summer home.
It's a whatever home. Yeah. It'll be a tiny home. It doesn't matter. And then when you're not there, I'm going to rent it out.
That's fine. Works
Airbnb it, rent it, I'm sorry. This is about us maintaining an active social life. But I think that's a lot of it. Like, there's so many fun activities to do. We're right now, my husband and I are doing Circle City Athletics pickleball. Mm-hmm. And I was looking at the list and I was like, man, if I was younger, I'd want to do like the dodgeball and kickball and things. Right now, I'm afraid I'd break a hip. So we're doing pickleball, euchre. We did cornhole. I mean, like we're really like living large. But point is, there are all kinds of things, no matter what age you are, you can join.
Yes.
I look forward to the day I'm in a bowling league or I have a dancing class
That
or,
would be fun.
things like that
Yeah.
too. So another one on the list is keeping plenty of medication on hand. And so for anybody who relies on medication, it can be a devastating situation if you don't have that. So you've got to make sure you do it. There are other things on the list that speak to Candace and my language. Another one is developing a disaster kit.
Absolutely. And keeping extra medication on hand kind of goes into that disaster kit, because if something happens and you can't get to the pharmacy, then you want to be able to have that extra medication on hand.
It is so true. And, people joke about the go bags and all that. I've got them.
Yep.
Candace has them.
Yep.
Like, you've got to make sure that whether it's an ice storm or, my goodness, the fires that happen in, Canada or Lahaina or, like all of these places, there are disasters that can happen and you've just got to be prepared.
Yep.
So other things, make sure you lock your doors and windows. Make sure you have some kind of an alert system. So if you've fallen or need assistance, you can press that alarm. Install a peephole in your door. Not that hard to do.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how many seniors in particular get scammed or get harmed because they open the door to a stranger?
Yeah.
You don't want to do that. The ring systems are great as well, but they will not protect you in that very moment. But they are good to have, recordings. Motion activated lights, they're not that hard to do. And you really need to have those around as well. And then a pretty common one, but I think something people forget is when you're traveling, make sure you've got somebody who's picking up your packages. Nothing says, I am not home, like an Amazon package on your front porch. And so, these are simple. Again, this is from our friends at Community Healthcare. It's called 14 Home Safety Tips for Seniors Who Live Alone. We are so excited about our next guest. If you don't know his name yet, I promise you're going to fall in love with him during our time together, because he is not only a geriatrician, he's a neuroscientist, he's an implementation scientist. He is smart and kind and one of the most interesting people that you will meet. So, Dr. Malaz Boustani, thanks for joining us.
Oh, thank you so much for the invitation and these nice, kind words. Now we're going south. You set me up for failure.
Not even. I honestly, Dr. Boustani, in the nearly 25 years that I've been doing this work, and Candace is right there with me, I don't think I've ever heard one person say a negative thing about you.
No, not at all.
All I hear is gratitude and appreciation and respect and admiration for who you are as a human, period. And, as a professional as well. So tell us about yourself. Who are you?
I am first and foremost a scientist and a physician, an entrepreneur who immigrated to this great country in 1994, seeking, social freedom, economic freedom, and political freedom. And I've been here since then and working on primarily transform brain health for all, for better now.
And what is it about brain health that really called to you?
Well, I'm terrified from losing my brain. And I'm also terrified from losing the brain of my loved one. I think right now humans are completely defined by their brain health. If you lose the way you think, then you lose the way you feel. And by default, also, you lose the ability for you to give order to your muscles and bone to take an action. I think you lose who you are and you lose the definition of a human. As you all know, just in case if you don't know, I'll let you know. Right now, technology in the world can do a lot of transplant. We can transplant your heart, we can transplant your kidney, we can transplant your liver, we can transplant your lung, we can transplant skins, and even face, but we cannot transplant your brain. And that means you have to be very, very cautious and put your brain on the top of your priority to maintain your health, because at the end of the day, there is no health without brain health.
You say it like that, and I don't think I've ever thought about it that way, that the brain is really what makes each human unique. Is that fair to say it that way?
Absolutely. Absolutely. This is the brain, our brain, your brain. It's created a special and personalized world for each of us. And we see the world through our brain. We react to it through our brain. We live life through our brain. And the brain is the most precious organ in our body.
Doctor, you're here today to tell us about guiding an improved dementia experience model, or also known as the GUIDE model. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, so the GUIDE model was launched by Medicare on July 31st, or at least the announcement was made by Medicare on July 31st of this year. It's a little bit complicated, so I'll try to simplify it for you. The GUIDE model is two components. The main one is a payment model. So CMS, Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services, shared their announcement that they are going to test for at least 8 years a specific payment model. They hope that this payment model will lead to creating demand for the comprehensive dementia care model. And by doing so, this comprehensive evidence-based dementia care model, when you have the right payment for it, it will be available to all Americans' family who are living with one member of the family with Alzheimer's disease and other related dementia to stay in their community as long as that possible and optimize the quality of life for the person who's suffering from dementia and also their informal or unpaid, usually a family caregiver. So in a nutshell, it's a payment model for a certain type of care services or dementia care services that are evidence-based. And ironically, these services, the comprehensive dementia care services, were developed by our lab in early 2000. And it took us, unfortunately, 23 years to create enough national demand, hopefully with CMS, that you don't have to be lucky and live in Indianapolis and seek care from Ashkenazi Health, where we've been providing this care model with support, financial support from Ashkenazi and the Ashkenazi Foundation since 2008.
Yeah, I think it's important for people to hear. You said this to me the other day when you and I met, that you have worked on this for over 20 years. Oh, wow. And I think that says a lot about your heart and dedication to making life better for people who are living with or loving with somebody living with, dementia. Thank you for that.
It's fair. Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's if you look at each one of us now in the United States, a family member, like first degree family member or second degree family member who is coping with the cognitive, functional, and psychological disability caused by this syndrome we call dementia, and Alzheimer's disease is one of the most common causes of this syndrome.
Doctors, how can listeners learn more about the GUIDE program and model? Is there a website
there is a website on CMS. It's very technical. It's set up for clinicians and healthcare administrator to understand the rule of the payment model, so they can decide to apply to deliver the service. But if you want to know more about the collaborative care model itself, I think you can search Malaz Boustani or ask Google or Siri, put in Malaz Boustani and dementia and aging brain medical home in particular. You will find, you'll be able to find multiple online sources for this. But if you can handle the language, the administrative or clinical language, then you can go to CMS website and search for GUIDE and dementia, and you'll find the resources about information about this model.
Thank you,
Excellent.
Doctor. I'll be sure to link some articles in the show notes so that people don't have to go searching for it.
That's perfect. All right. Dr. Malaz Boustani is going to stick around for another segment with us, but we're going to ask you to hang tight. We'll be back in just a moment here on Caregiver Crossing.
You're listening to Caregiver Crossing, a show designed for family caregivers and the people who love them. Caregiver Crossing is brought to you weekly by Joy's House in partnership with Cardon and Associates. We're here every Sunday to bring you support, education, and hopefully a good laugh. Visit caregivercrossingradio.org to connect with us, hear past episodes, and learn more about caregiver support resources in the community. That website again is caregivercrossingradio.org. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more Caregiver Crossing shortly.
We're back on Caregiver Crossing. I'm Tina McIntosh in studio with Candace Hadabaugh. And we were talking in the last segment with Dr. Malaz Boustani, who is just an incredible human and was sharing with us this guide model that is guiding an improved dementia experience. He's been working on this for 23 years and brought this to CMS. And it's something I think you'll be hearing more about and will be helpful to families everywhere over time. He has agreed to stay on with us, and we get to talk with him about something that he calls the Caregiver Bundle. And so, Dr. Malaz, thank you for sticking around. And can you share with us what you have developed over years as the Caregivers Bundle?
Yeah, sure. So a village of Indiana University faculty within the School of Medicine and the Regan Street Institute over here in Indianapolis, Indiana, have developed a simple bundle that focus on the caregiver, the family, and the informal, the unpaid caregiver of people living with dementia. And this bundle, the base of it is, if you want to care about the person who is suffering from dementia, then you have to be smart enough to care for their loved one who are providing care for them. And if you want to do that, then there's specific evidence-based 4 components that can really create magic, can prevent the burnout and the stress of the family caregiver. And by doing so, then the person who suffers from the disease will be able to stay in their community at least 2 years longer, and they can be away from being in the hospital inappropriately, and you can optimize the quality of life for both the patients and their loved one caregiver. So what are these 4 magic? They look very simple, but are very crucial. They are layer. So the foundation of the Caregiver Stress Prevention Bundle is for the caregiver to have at least 8 hours of time off caregiving task, not just physical caregiving task, but also psychological caregiving task per week. And these 8 hours has to be together in one chunk of time. You can't do it like 1 hour here and 1 hour there. So 8 hours, and this is minimum. Like if you can do more and more, that will be awesome. So that's the foundation. If you don't have 8 hours time off caregiving task, everything will be really, really hard.
Dr. Boustani, I'm going to pause you right there because I want people to hear that again. You should have a minimum of consecutive hours of respite, time off mentally, physically, and it's 8 hours according to Dr. Malaz Boustani. And this is, research evidence. This is important for people to hear, because I know so many people who say, oh, well, I'll do 2 hours on Monday, and then I've got an hour on Tuesday, and I'll take 4 on Thursday. And to that, Dr. Boustani, you would say what?
Well, it actually will make things worse. So if you compare the group who take 8 hours versus the group who take 0 hour versus the group who do like 1 hour here and there, they will perceive that they took enough care and they took enough time off, and they will feel even more guilty. So ironically, these 8 hours, it doesn't make a really a big discovery if you think about it this way. All of us who are in the workforce, we work on average of 40 hours a week. And then the rest of the time, the 120 plus hour out of the rest of the week, we spend it eating, sleeping, spending time with our family on average. If you look at the caregiver, the family caregiver, especially those who live with their loved one in the same house, they are literally working 160 hours a week. That is more than 4 full-time jobs. And if you are a human and not a saint, if you're a human, you can't work 4 full-time jobs without taking a break. And this is the essence of why these 8 hours are minimum even. 8 hours, if you think about it, they're not even a full Saturday and full Sunday. So 8 hours time off is the minimum. That's the foundation. How can you get that 8 hour time off? This is where, if you are part of this guide program, then you will have a care navigator who can work on your existing resources in your own family, in your own community. And even now with the guide model, the CMS will have at least up to $2,500 per year you can spend on sending your loved one to adult daycare like Joy's house, or hiring some people to come over to your home and take care of your loved one while you're going and refresh. So that's the foundation. That's the foundation of our caregiver stress prevention bundle. On top of it is you need to attend a support group, a monthly support group, digital or person, of people who've been in this journey, who talk the same language you talk, who have experienced life caring for their loved one who is suffering from dementia at least once a month. So attending a support group is the second piece. The third one is developing what we call a crisis plan. So every dyad, a person living with the disease and the syndrome and their loved one who caring for them, they will face very predictable crises. The only problem is we don't know when you're gonna face that crisis. So one part of the caregiver stress prevention bundle is developing crisis plan, how to face these crises and really kind of practice them and prepare for them. And these usual crises are as follow. Usually you will have one of your first crises will be driving or not driving. For my loved one, especially in the United States. Second one is how can I protect my loved one from being a victim of financial exploitation? The third one is, should I take my loved one to the hospital? Is the benefit harm of the hospital emergency room are worth it or not? Are they favor my loved one taking them to the hospital or the opposite? Fourth one, what about all these other medical screening that I have to go through? Are they worth it for my loved one or not? The fifth one is it when should I start seeking more of professional help to help me care for my loved one, cognitive, functional, psychological disability? And finally, what should I do if my loved one care need to be moved out of the house and I have to seek other institutional setting? And last but not least is what will happen if my loved one below the neck problems led to my loved one heart stop or lung stop breathing. What should I do? Or we call that advanced care planning. So these are all crises that usually every family with dementia will go through it. And we work through this caregiver stress prevention bundle. Our care navigator work with the family to come up with a plan ahead of the time, not during the crisis, and kind of practice it. So when the crisis happens, the family will be ready. So that's the third component.
Dr. Boustani, our final one is the problem solving. Can you quickly tell us what that's about?
Yeah. So the problem solving loved one with dementia always have cognitive, functional, and psychological disability. We have a set of problem solving strategy, how to cope with these disability. There are a bunch of tips that we can do them, and they are specific handout and work with them. So these are the 4 components of Caregiver Stress Prevention Month.
Thank you, Dr. Boustani. And we'll be sure to link all of those notes in our show notes for the day. Until next time, take good care of each other.